It turns out you don't need special mushrooms to see smells, at least if you're a dog. Because it's a weird sciencey fact that boggles my mind. Now, all of our senses have specific jobs that complete specific tasks. For example, your eyes complete the task of allowing you to see how good looking I am, and your ears allow you to hear all the amazing things I have to say. And then we've got touch, taste, and smell, and we can compile all of the information we receive from these senses to get a good view of what's going on in our surroundings. But they're all individual senses that operate more or less independently from each other. Obviously, smell and taste have a little overlap, but you can't really hear a color. Or can you? No, you can't. But you might be able to see a sound. In fact, our occipital lobe that processes our eyesight becomes very engaged in processing other sensory inputs in people who are blind from a young age. Some blind people who can echoacoustically navigate through their environment. It's echolocation, and their occipital lobe plays an important role in that. They're literally seeing sounds. But that's not really that mind-boggling. Lots of animals echo or sonar locate, and we've always imagined that as seeing their environment through sound. We can even visually see our environment through sound using sonar. Granted, it takes a special machine, but we can take sound waves and turn them into a pretty precise visual image. Not that mind-boggling. I mean, it is, but we're all familiar with it. I think this could probably be applied to touch too, because if you've ever been working on a car and you're reaching for that bolt you can't see, your fingertips feel like they're giving you a pretty decent image of what's going on up there. I just couldn't find any specific citations to say that that sensory input is directly connected to your occipital lobe, so I'm not going to say that it's the same thing for sure. But it still wouldn't be that mind-boggling, even if it was. So what sensory salsa would be mind-boggling? What about seeing a smell? Sure, you're like, duh, I smell fresh cookies and I get a vivid image of childhood at grandma's house. No, not what I'm talking about. That smell's connection to memory, which is very strong, but not sight. Totally different. I'm talking about olfactory echolocation, smelldar, literally seeing a scent. Now I'm sure you're like, okay, I get what you're saying, but duh, that's not that mind-boggling. All kinds of animals can follow a scent, see where something's gone, smell where it's coming from. You're still not getting me. Picture this, literally. Walk into a room blindfolded, take a big whiff, picture the feng shui. Accurately. Now are we on the same page? Impossible, right? Those two senses doing a duet would be like Wheeler Walker Jr. and Mercy Me doing an album collaboration. Just ain't gonna happen. And you're right, people can't see smells. But Sophie can. At least that's according to Philippa Johnson, an associate professor at Cornell University's College of Veterinary Medicine. They just recently did an MRI study on dogs and found that when dogs smell something, their olfactory bulb, the part of the brain that's responsible for processing smell, lights up as you'd expect. But their occipital lobe lights up too, which you would not expect. This literally means that the brain is processing a smell in a similar way that it processes visual information, which is insane. Also a likely reason why many people have thought that their veterinarian has no clue what they're talking about when they said that they've done a vision test on their dog and their dog is blind as a bat. Turns out a dog can have the eyesight of Ray Charles but still have 20/20 smell-o-vision. And if a dog has gone blind but still lives in an area like a house that it was familiar with while it still had its eyesight, it can still really accurately navigate that space just by smell. Because the distribution and location of the smells in that space are accurately represented as a visual image in their memory. So the brain just starts processing that smell as if it's seeing it bright as day. And that's something you may want to consider before rearranging the furniture or moving to a new place if you've got an old dog. But this also explains why dogs who have poor eyesight relative to humans still navigate in the dark better than we do. And this study is super cool information because this is giving us a brand new understanding of the way that other animals can perceive the world. This is opening up all kinds of new avenues for research because we have no idea what other animals have this olfactory occipital connection. Horses, for example, have a great sense of smell because their whole skull is a nose. So can they see smells? Potentially. Horses and dogs do have a similar strength of scent, but the way they use that sense is very different. Dogs use their sense of smell for navigation because they need it to find food. But horses don't have to sniff around too much because their food is usually underfoot. Instead, horses use their sense of smell to sniff out the pack of wolves who's trying to sniff them out for supper. So it's very possible that unlike predators, prey animals never had the need to evolve that olfactory occipital connection. But maybe they did. We don't know. Yet. And the fact that your seeing eye dog is a smelling eye dog, who's super sensed to see a scent when it seems her sight subdued, means you can feel secure that she'll still be able to safely steer. Well, that is pretty mind-boggling.